Hey guys, today we're reviewing a Steadicam. If you are anything like me, you've got into filming and you realise you needed something to help stabilise your footage to make it look more professional. You find out about this thing called a glide cam, so you go to Amazon, type in glide cam and you're like, wait, £400? And there's another one as well for £500. And I was thinking to myself, I'm not sure if I want to spend £400 on a glide cam. So I did what I'm guessing most of you guys are doing, and you're looking for a cheap alternative. So I found this thing, IMORDEN. Immortal. And I thought to myself, we'll give it a go. It was £69. It had 8 reviews on Amazon, all 5 stars. I thought, to save myself £330, I thought, well, I'll just give this a go and see what it's like. And I gave it a go. So in this review, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the IMORDEN Steadicam, not semi-cam. So guys, just to start out, I'm going to tell you that I'm really impressed with this thing. I kind of got it thinking, give it a go. If it doesn't really work, I'll just get a glide cam instead. But I've bought it and I've realised that I'm never going to need to buy a glide cam after having this thing. It works perfectly with my CANON 1DX Mark II, which is notoriously a very heavy camera. I thought to myself when I bought this, it's quite lightweight, and I thought perhaps it wasn't going to cope with a heavier camera at the top, but it's worked absolutely perfectly. In fact, it seems when you extend it like this, when you bring that down, it's almost the perfect weight for the Canon 1DX Mark II. Even though actually this is very lightweight. They say it's carbon fibre. Between me and you, I'm not 100% sure it is carbon fibre. It just looks like a plastic tube to me, but perhaps it is. The one thing I noticed straight away from having this is your footage looks so much more cinematic and professional, having steady footage rather than the wobbly footage I had before. It looks really good. So before we go any further, I'm actually just going to show you some clips that I've taken using this thing and my Canon 1DX Mark II, just so you can get a vibe of the kind of shots I've been taking with it. Hope you enjoy. Hey guys, I know what you're thinking, what a strange camera angle. Well, the reason I'm filming from this angle is because I'm going to show you how to actually balance your camera on this thing, okay? Now, if you just watched that video I took of the dogs, what you'll probably notice is I got a lot of shots from right down at the floor. And you're probably thinking, how on earth did I get this down that far at the floor? Well, the most amazing thing you can do about this is when the camera's on it, you can hold it upside down and it will have the same balancing effect, same stabilizing effect. So you can walk backwards with it and get those really incredible shots of your pets or people walking right down low to the floor, which are really cool angles. Then what you do later in post-production is you put it into your editing software and just flip the footage up the right way around, so you get it the right way around. Anyway, let me show you how easy this thing is to stabilize. I'm going to speed up certain bits, but I'm going to run you through the process. The only other thing I wanted to say is I'm actually going to be balancing it with my Canon 5D Mark III rather than the 1DX, because I'm filming with the 1DX, but it's exactly the same process and you'll get an idea of how easy it is, okay? So, first things first, you can unscrew this side bit here and take this plate off. Then you'll get one of these screws and attach it to your camera, okay? So, get that facing forward like this and screw it on. And a little tip for you guys, I don't have a screwdriver, but I just keep a penny in the bag so I can just use that to screw it on instead. Then you mount it back onto the thing and screw this little green screw in here a little bit, okay? And just do it till it's slightly tight. Now, I've seen a lot of people talk about how they balance their glide cam, and I found this to be the most effective way, and this is why I'm sitting here to do this. You lift it up slightly, and you just see which way the glide cam will move. So, when you saw that, I lift it up, and it immediately swings forward, which means you now have to counteract that weight by bringing it back slightly. So slide the camera a bit further back, and screw it back up a bit tighter. Then lift it up. Still went forward a bit, so we need to counteract that. Right, now as you can see, it doesn't go forward or back, but if I face it directly at you, you'll see it slightly goes to the side, ready? Which means there's too much weight on this side. So, using this little screw here, loosen that and move the whole disc, this disc here, just move it this way slightly, okay? So move it that way a bit. Still went over that way a little bit, I'm going to move it over a bit more. So remember, the way the camera moves, you then shift the weight along to balance it a bit better. I hope I'm explaining this well. So guys, once you've got the camera on top of this stabilizer, and you can just lift it up like this, and it will just stay balanced in a good position, you've stabilized this enough. Basically what this thing is doing is it's got this handle here with an axis on it. And as your hand is shaking and wobbling all over the place, the camera will stay stable. All you need to do is make sure that you use your other hand to hold the stem here, or this stick coming down here, just underneath the stabilizer, so you can slowly pan around if you need to. And you can generally just point the camera at where you need to be pointing. So that's how you stabilize it. I'm actually going to take you outside now and show you just tips on how to make sure you get the smoothest footage possible out of this thing. Okay guys, so I'm just going to show you really quickly exactly how I walk with this and how I use it. So remember I said you've got to hold it with this hand and stabilize it with this hand, and generally when you walk just keep yourself low and walk as if you were trying to keep the camera steady as possible. So like this. And also, if you guys wanted to film your pets or something, you can easily invert this thing and it should stay equally as balanced. Just hold it slightly further up like this. I'll show you now, okay? Come on there, come on. There, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. So I've got a little comparison video for you here. The first bit of footage was taken without any stabilizer on the camera at all, just hand holding it. And the second video I've got here was taken with the stabilizer on the camera, and you can clearly see the difference. So I'll show you the one first, and then I'll show you the second, and then I'll show you them side by side, and you can clearly see the difference. Other little quick top tips for you are, the wider the angle lens, the less shake you tend to see. If it's more zoomed in, you see more shake, and as soon as it's a bit wider, you just don't see the shake as much. And the other thing I wanted to say as well is it always helps if you can shoot at a faster frame rate. So referring back to the video with the dogs at the beginning, most of that video was shot at 120 frames per second, which slows things down, which means even if there is a bit of camera wobble, at a slower rate it doesn't seem so obvious. So there's some other tips for you as well, especially if you've got the Canon 1DX Mark II. Okay guys, so in conclusion, I'm just going to say that I'm really impressed with this. If you guys are thinking about getting a STEADICAM system, but you don't want to spend £400 on a glide cam, or you don't want to buy the more expensive gimbals, I would highly recommend this. It's simple, easy to use, lightweight, I can take it anywhere with me. I've shown you how I set it up. It doesn't take very long at all, and once you set it up once, it's easier the next time and the time after that. And I've showed you some of the techniques that I use to make the films that I make. I hope the video's helped you guys out. If it has, make sure you give the video a like. Leave a comment if you've got this system, or if you like it, if you have another system that's similar to it. And make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I've got more tech reviews coming up like this soon. Thanks for watching.